Town, South Africa, and the
Then
Cebu, Philippines is number 3. What are your thoughts on those two topics, Attorney Narvios?
Nah, patay.
Soon to be Attorney
No,
Narvios.
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, first kaning kang Russian vlogger Vitali. Now, my brother was telling me about this. I didn't actually see the videos. He thought I told him about it, and he was like, "Kato akong giingon mo ba? Katong vlogger?" And then he saw some videos of them. He's kind of he does like pranks na medyo harassing mga people on the streets, officers, no public officers, and so now he's been transferred na to the BJMP. According to the Bureau of Immigration, and they confirmed that he was transferred last June 11th pa. So yeah, his content that he used to make were very offensive, and he was arrested after videos of him harassing a security guard in BGC, BGC Pare in Bonifacio Global City.
Okay.
And after that went viral. So
Okay.
then the Bureau of Immigration also tagged him as undesirable as a foreign national.
Okay.
And he was apprehended in April pa because of reports of immigration violations.
Unsa man gyud yung gibang buhat? Are you aware? Did your brother tell you? Unsa man gyud yung gibuhat exactly?
Yeah.
Unsa man yung mga pranks yung gibuhat, and what does that mean, and why is it nga mapreso man ka? Grabe sa nang kaning magprank lang ka unya kuan ka.
Lagi. So I'm looking here.
Mapreso ka.
Yes, I'm looking at this article from when he was apprehended pa
Okay.
in April.
Okay.
Russian vlogger harassing Filipinos in BGC arrested.
Unsa yung buhaton lagi? What did your brother tell you about it? Unsa man? Like, unsa man yung pangbuhat?
Let's see. He faced a series of complaints over videos of him harassing security guards and stealing an industrial fan from a restaurant while live streaming inside a mall. So nangawat ni siya og industrial fan
Unsa man niya?
from a restaurant while he was on live stream.
So unsa man siya kaning was it part of the ruse? Was it part of the shtick niya nga kaning magkuha siya, or nangawat gid siya kaning he was objectively and legally removing property that's not his, or that's part of the prank?
Since it's stated here nga it's a prank, no, that was really part of his content. Kaya
Okay.
nag-live stream man siya.
Okay.
So he went live
Okay.
on social media and then ended up stealing an industrial fan from a restaurant and then harassing also a bunch of security guards.
Okay.
So yeah, that's in April pa na siya.
Okay.
And he was arrested by the Makati police.
Okay.
And then karon gi-transfer na siya to the BJMP.
Mm.
Here in his vlog, I don't know how to pronounce his freaking last name.
Vitali lang si Vitali.
Vitali. In his vlog, Vitali was seen snatching a security guard's hat
Okay.
and running off with it.
Okay.
He was also seen seemingly touching another security guard's firearm
Okay.
and even kissing the latter. Oh, okay. So it's
Okay.
also then, it becomes a safety matter also, no, for content.
Ay-
At some point, he also grabbed the fan and brought it to the hotel where he was staying. The industrial fan rather.
So he just really wanted to catch attention, but we know these types of
Oh yeah,
influencers, right?
clout chasers.
Kanang mga inani nga type ba nga they know how to grab attention.
Yeah.
And yes, I've seen them go too far. In fact, dili lang ta
Rage bait.
magpalayo katong dili lang ta we don't have to go far. So may Bisaya ang ekspresyon na we don't have to go far. So may Bisaya na.
Because I think that was correct.
Dili lang ta magpalayo.
I think that's correct,
Sakto
right?
ba?
It sounds correct to me.
Anyway, si kinsa nga na niya si I Show Speed, di ba? Mo man yung style niya gud kanang kanang like kaning mag just be noisy and do things that'll attract attention and all of that stuff. Sometimes juvenile, right?
Yeah, part of their personality and part of getting people's attention comes
Correct.
with that kind of way of carrying
Yeah.
themselves also.
Yeah, I can imagine nga like you said, it's a security
Issue man.
right?
Oo.
Yun sa niyang pusil.
Gi-kiss niya,
Gi-kiss
gikuha
niya.
ang firearm sa
Gikuha?
police. Gikuha niya ang firearm.
Gikuha.
Yeah, and then he kissed it. So
Gikuha niya.
so that's, I think, yeah. Or no, my bad. It just says, my bad. It just says seemingly touching another security guard's firearm
Seemingly
and even
touching.
kissing the latter.
Oh.
I think he didn't kiss it. He kissed the security guard.
Okay, so
My bad.
So kani siya mga butanga, although kaning murag medyo
Kind of harm, supposedly.
murag ganing unusual ni siya ba, murag I would even venture say it's weird and it's bordering on dangerous, diba?
Yeah.
But is it worth
The The content.
the words him going to jail over.
Clout. Exactly.
Yeah,
Mao gani. Mao gid.
I mean, like unsa man gyud ay,
Exactly.
I'm just curious ba nga naman, does he really deserve to go to jail? I don't know. I'm not for or against him going to jail. I'm throwing the question to our listeners and to our viewers, right? You guys, kato si Vitali nga na priso karon sa BGMP, di ba? Unsa man siya, does he deserve to go to jail and sa iyang gipangbuhat, or maybe we just need to discipline him maybe
In a different way.
in a different way, just to show everybody nga, you can't do this, and then maybe kung dili pa i-deport ni siya, ibalik niya sa Russia, and let Russia, his home
Deal with him.
deal with him, right? Because we don't need people like this. What are your thoughts on that, guys? Join us in our conversation ngani sa atong Tops Media Center sa TikTok, sa ako ang Facebook page Jiggy Juice, Tops Media Center on Facebook as well, and our YouTube Tops Media Center. Ikaw Justin, tan-aw nimo. To the best of your abilities, based on the information that you have, should he go to jail for
That's the thing, because
whatever he did?
That's the thing, because I haven't done enough research to check unsa man gyud ang charges against him. No?
Yeah, but based
what
on
laws has he broken?
Based on what you read ba?
Well, he's already going to jail. I can't really say if he deserves it or not. No?
Okay.
There's a reason why deportation is not an option for him. I'm trying to search. I saw an article labay kog article earlier why deportation is not an option for him.
Mm-hmm.
Pero I think what I'm trying to understand, what I really don't know, is what does the government look at Mandiay when they say nga it's now harmful? When does a harmless prank become harmful in the eyes of the law? So that's what I'm trying to understand. But so far,
and that also means that we already have lost the eye, huh? So murag akong feeling na niya sa natin balaod when it comes to social media, right? Or maybe because ang mga gipang mention nimo kaganina was nga gihikap ni ang pusil, gikisa niya, murag nangawat siya og electric fan, mura man ni siya og ang iyang crimes is not probably social media in nature, and I think it's really real world
harassing people, maybe.
In nature. Dili man siya
It's not like an online thing.
It's not an online thing, right? Right?
Yeah, I don't think it's an online thing. So now I'm just trying to understand that, like, how come they didn't just deport him? Why is it gone as far? There are articles here in April pa that describe him as smug.
Smug, bugiro.
Hambugiro daw. When he was, there's an article here that describes him as smug when he was arrested in April pa.
Okay.
So maybe that doesn't help also, no? And maybe in the way that you conduct yourself when investigations going on, it does really have like a weight ba on the charges against you. Kung dili ka mo cooperate, o syempre, di ba?
Pero nakabantay mo yung gana, Justin, sa nga naay mga usahay ba, mga foreigner bitaw nga murag bitaw ang ilahang feeling, especially sa Pinas bitaw, murag mga smug, di ba?
We ano display.
Yeah. I'm not.
They're not gonna do anything to us.
I'm not going to be racist or anything like that. But nakabantay jud kung naay mga inana nga mga tao. I think it could be number one, inanig yun sila, or maybe dili sila maka-arte kay ilahang nasod kay medyo stricto, or maybe I don't know, but nagi mga tao nga inana nga ang mga foreigner nga mura sila tag-iya sila bitaw sa syudad bitaw or something like that.
I think that's why also the immigration commissioner, for the Bureau of Immigration, released a statement ningon siya nga this is not just a matter of administrative procedure, it's about protecting the integrity of our immigration laws.
Okay.
Foreign nationals who abuse our hospitality and violate our laws must face the consequences.
Okay.
The Bureau is resolute. We will not allow our deportation process to be undermined by publicity tactics or legal maneuvering. No special treatment will be given. So meaning he has to go through whatever legal proceedings did he is placed on bail, whatever processes he has to go to. Kung he needs to be transferred to the BJMP, he needs to go through that, not like take the easy way out, bitaw the route nga murag easy escape nga i-deport ra siya. That's what the commissioner is basically saying. So I'm surprised. I like Voljigin that they're kind of standing their ground on this, like from a local's perspective. It's not that I agree or disagree with the arrest or anything like that, but I respect how the commissioner is really standing his ground on unsa ang mga proceedings, what they need to do. Kay you follow it good, regardless if you're a foreigner or not. You break our immigration laws, you got to go through the entire process. You got to follow the law.
Yeah, so, correct. Yeah. That's I guess
nangawat so day Jiggy na nangawat sa day ni siya og tricycle. Yeah, he
what do you mean by nangawat kaning
aside from the electric fan from a restaurant, napoy tricycle.
so that's not part of his content na nangawat gid siya like
It's part of his nakita siyang live stream, both of which he later abandoned.
so
Yeah.
wala gid nagyaga-yaga lang gid siya.
Yeah.
Nagyaga-yaga lang gid siya na sobraan lang gid siguro but
Yeah.
ang akong pangutana ani is if
Well, you know what, Jiggy? If this man's goal was to become famous, mission achieved, mission accomplished.
and maybe that's part of it, right? Maybe
If he wanted to get clout, this is he's in headlines now, so it's working. But
yeah, exactly.
look at the cost of that. Now he has to go through all this hassle and.
But you know now you got me thinking. Na may uban ng mga tao nga they actually become bigger and more popular if they go to jail.
Yeah, after they go to jail na. Yeah. That's true.
Even while they're in jail, for example, see Mandela, right? Nelson Mandela. Like, you know, like of course I'm not comparing this guy to Nelson Mandela by any stretch of the imagination. But what I'm saying is he was in jail for like decades, right? For a long time. And when he came out, he came out a hero and in fact won as president or as leader of South Africa, right? So inani mga butanga ba? So maybe this is part of the whole content thing, right?
Yeah, maybe it's just part of his plot, but we don't know.
His playbook and maybe
and we're falling to
exactly. Murag nasud
we fell into the trap.
Nasud ta sa taruba. So muna kang pasabot ba nga basig I think manggod. You need to hit hit the person where it hurts the most.
Okay.
Unya kung ang iyang panginabuhi ang iyang style is to get attention, iyang panginabuhi is to get attention.
To get clout.
Then ignore him.
Yeah.
Ignore him, meaning to say just deport him na lang siguro sa muka ni mo eh. Get the hell out of my country, you know.
That would have been a good
don't give him attention ba. Karon na noon nga we talking about him right now. I'm saying in Russian.
Russian accent.
As much as I can, you know. But you know what I mean. So now he's
so
more
now
famous.
he kind of got what he wanted. Although Jiggy, at the same although I agree with that, no, it would have been nice if the media didn't pay so much attention to this. I'm actually glad that they did go through all the proper legal proceedings and they even denied him of his request for bail. Kay murag, in this way, I feel like the Bureau of Immigration is really standing firm on what are the consequences if people break the laws in terms of immigration. So, ni state pud siya, let's see, the Bureau of Immigration Commissioner Joel Anthony Viado also stated, no, as we continue to support the Marcos administration's push for stronger border security and law enforcement, the Bureau will ensure that foreign violators are held accountable, processed swiftly, and removed from the country as warranted. So, it would have been nice. Yeah, you're right. If i-deport siya diretso, pero feeling na ko sad ba? You're not, like in my point of view, the way I want to say it is like, you're not gonna get off the hook that easy. Like, you don't just do all these and then like, just take the easy way out nga, i-deport ka right away.
Yeah, but see the thing is, Magod.
You put us through hassle, we'll put you through the hassle.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
We're not gonna bend the laws just because you're a foreigner. You gotta go through it's the same thing. If Filipinos also did the same thing, then, or you know, if you break immigration laws, you gotta pay the price.
Sakto.
Do the crime.
Sakto juga, Justine. But again,
do the time.
But I'm going back to my statement. You gotta hit them where it hurts the most, right? So kung makakita aning mga ubang influencers nga, the country makes a big deal out of me committing this and committing that. I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get in national headlines. And Justine and Jiggy are gonna talk about it
in the
show. on the radio show. So kakasabot ka. So kaning ilang mga gipangbuhat nga gipriso and all of that stuff. It gives them ideas also. Sayo na day kayon sao na to nga kaning kaning mapriso ta, di ba? Atong buhaton dia is
mapriso ka.
Is magpabadlong na ta in that certain kind of way of pabadlong, di ba?
That's the formula. Just do this and then you'll get ratings.
Mo lagi so akong masabutan na. That's also an example. Pareha na gud na, Justine. Good kana bitong naay mga kana bitong mga killers, for example, kanang mga terrorists. Do you notice nga they don't get mentioned by name? Because maka idea magud ang ubang mga tao gud nga kung pat yun mag-killer ko or assassinate
I'm
somebody,
gonna be known.
kaning ma-famous ko, di ba?
Yeah.
So that's why they don't mention their names. Usa na sa mga rason nga dili i-mention ang ngan sa mga terrorists and all that stuff because they don't want them to be famous and give people ideas. Inaniun ay pagpasikat di ay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my mentality on this matter also. Nga pasakdi na siya. That's you're actually doing the thing that he wants us to do. Ngano kung mangawat ko siya good? Ngano kung why would he do it? So that he'll get the most attention, right? Or maybe take down his Facebook, take down his social media. You know, kana siguro that's where it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, maybe, but with everything going on, he's not allowed. There's no way that he could be making more content, given everything that he has to go through now. But it would be nice if after everything, after all these proceedings, after all these trials and all that, maybe they can do something about his social media, what he's not allowed to post. Maybe consider him not welcome in certain parts of the Philippines.
Persona non grata. Persona non planeta siguro. Non planeta. You're no longer allowed to
in this planet
to do anything in this planet, right?
Yeah. That could be something that they could look into too. But it would really depend. I think it would really depend on what they find out after the trial, after they weigh it all out. Then diya pa nila ang mga penalties.
Para mo ko Justin good. Ang ipang buhat ba kanang very juvenile, very petty. Kanang murag samukan ba? Samok ba?
Actually, that's a good way to describe it.
Samukan ninyo.
Kasi.
Samok kay palayasan na siya. There are more sinister things that people are doing online that are than stealing electric fans and tricycles, right? And all of that stuff, right?
Yeah, it just so happened that because of his reach and as a vlogger, it's the kind of content that really catches people's attention.
Correct.
Compared to all those secret, sinister things that are happening in the dark depths of the web.
Yeah.
Kanisha kay, it's out man. So like everyone, it really catches everyone's attention. Personally, if I were to witness something like this in person, I would be very, very annoyed. Very, very annoyed.
So what are your thoughts on Vitali and him going to jail? Should he or should he not go to jail? Are they making an example of him because he did all of those things, or this is really the law being implemented in its kind of full strength, right? What are your thoughts on that? Is this something that will kind of discourage other influencers to do the same, or is this going to be a thing that encourages them because we make a big deal out of it?
We made a fuss.
Made a fuss out of it. Therefore, that's what we should do.
Yeah, let us know, guys.
As long as we have a good lawyer, maybe we can still get out of it. But we'll see what happens to this guy, right? If he does really go
Get
to jail or get unscathed, or will he become even a bigger and more fans, more viewers of his content because he went to jail in the Philippines?
I hope not. I personally hope,
we'll see.
not. But let us know, guys. Join our conversation. Text us at 0999-887-6070 or join us. We're live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. So wala na yung excuse. I remember there was a time when a lot of people would ask, are you live on Facebook? And we would have to be, oh, sorry, no. Sa YouTube, we're good. Pero now, guys, TMC, we've expanded our reach.
Muratag.
Naanagita sa Facebook and sa TikTok.
Murata og kaning HIV ani Justine.
Why?
We are very kaning very very contagious.
What happened, Bella?
Muratag very
sipon.
Oh.
I know. Vampire, right?
Vampire.
So muna siya.
So let us know your thoughts, guys.
And give us your inputs on the Vitali case. Also kaning ranked the third cheapest in the world to live your best life. You know what? For a long time, because I talk to people who are players, who are not players, who are have a stakeholders of the tourism industry. Ba? Ang akong nadunggan yun is that the Philippines is expensive.
The cost of living here is quite high.
No, for tourists ba? It's very expensive because people have gone to Thailand, Bali,
Taiwan,
Vietnam, and so on and so forth. It's like you can get a villa with your own pool in Bali, Indonesia, for 3,000-4,000 pesos a day, right? And you can even kaning tunga it with your friends and
maybe times 10 here.
Yeah, mas
30,000
mabarato pag yun, diba?
Yeah.
And food, if you just know where to go, is actually
Yeah.
very affordable. Ang ato ang hotel food reporting mahala, di ba,
Yeah.
compared to other
Actually.
parts of the world, right? So muna akong perception, nahibuong lang ko ani nga, really?
This
Seriously?
article says,
So what does that really mean?
so compared to other countries in Southeast Asia now, maybe, I like how it added not just cheapest to live in,
Not Southeast Asia. This is the world. This is the world, huh?
world ranking.
Yeah.
So I like how it added not just the cheapest in the world to live in, but they said here nga, it's to live your best life. What exactly does that mean? Like for you, Jiggy, how do you do? What does that mean?
Gadod ako kala pa buwak lang siguro.
Buwak na, no?
Buwak lang na siya, live your best life. That's a very nebulous word. Mura man na siya
So for this article, Jiggy,
What
like,
happened, Bella?
takabaon siya pasabot ana.
what are the unsa di ay lang criteria? How did they base it? Like what did they look at
I have no idea. That's why I'm asking you.
to be able?
Unsam ni siya, according to the
Unsam man ni
finance
siya.
buzz in C Asia, Cebu City has earned a spot as the third most affordable city globally for a high quality lifestyle, making it one of only 2 Asian countries in the top 5. Unsa-
Where do you see this in from? Let me
this
search it,
is
ha?
from
This photo you sent me. It's a
C-
screenshot from
C-
Turismo Central Luzon.
C Asia stats.
Okay.
Tuwa mo ani, guys?
Turismo.
Tuwa mo ani?
This is good news for us, though.
Ang Cebu is a third most affordable, cheapest in the world to live your best life. What
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on that? Yeah, for example,
It's inspiring, Jiggy. So that means we're very close to living our best lives here. Turismo Central Luzon. Okay, let's see.
Tinuod ba kani or kaning parihan ni Vitali nga kuan lang ni
Ano na ni? Pakulo.
pakulo lang ni siya. Mo lagi Justin sa libog ni kita sa unsay pakulo unsa gyud kaning kinasing-kasing gyud bitaw kanang tinuod na sad ba. Di na ta makabantay sa di na ta makibaw sa hayo niya kibaw na ka.
Yeah, that's why.
Kita ang atong utok tapulan man kayo niya mo gravitate man gyud ta sa whether we like it or not to our biases kanang gitawag nila og confirmation bias, di ba? So kung natay makita nga balita nga ganahan ta, mao na atong tuhuan, mo na tawo na tayo mabuhat ni ana.
So when you told me that it's ranked third,
Mhm.
that's from I saw like when I searched it, but Cebu ranked cheapest to live your best life. So far, what came out are articles from Facebook.
Okay.
Ang nigawas diri sa Cebu Daily News is Cebu City ranks 470th in global best cities to live. That's in 2025 June.
Okay.
Pero kaning sa Facebook nga third. I'm trying to find where's the source of this so that we can look at the guys. So this is what's really important when I think when we find articles, we need to always check ba kanang unsa man gyud ay ang like when people make claims like this is the best, this is the ranking. I always want to know like what are the standards that they look into that would make it third man. Pero diri sa Cebu Daily News nga 2025 June nga news 470th. So I'm trying to compare and contrast.
Well, here's why Cebu is getting the global spotlight. Low cost of living, from rent to dining. Expenses in Cebu are lower than in Metro Manila and other western cities. Beach and city life combo. Live near world famous beaches like Bantayan or Malapascua.
Ooh.
Vibrant culture, accessibility, warm people. Despite some challenges in infrastructure and traffic, Cebu offers a strong work-life balance and a welcoming community, perfect for expat, digital nomads, and locals alike.
That's nice. This other article from CDN mentions how it ranks 470th in the global best cities to live. And I like it because it's based on numbers from the Oxford Economics. It's from a new report from the UK-based consulting firm Oxford Economics. And
So ang ngan sa article finance buzz finance. Ang murag ang
buzz.
media outlet finance buzz.
okay.
So maybe this is the wrong survey. Sometimes magud kana mong survey good. Depende po na unsa nga klase imong ipangutana, di ba? Mo na importante kay nastanan nga ang i-craft nga pangutana, di ba? Karang sa niaging eleksyon, di ba? Murag surprising man kayo tanan gyud ang mga results both local and nationally, di ba? Naalay mga pipila ka kandidato nga wala ni sud sa top 12 pag human na number 2 kalit in the person of Bam Aquino, di ba? And si Kiko sad wala sana siya sa survey niyan, kalit lag butho, di ba? Number 5 pag yun, di ba? And here even at the local scene we have so many surprises and upsets, right? So wa kita nakabantay nga unsa kay watatang nakapangutana ba nga unsa gyud naka importante ang pag-craft sa mga questions sa survey form, di ba?
Okay, yeah.
Para,
The survey in itself,
yeah.
and also the kind of standards or what's the criteria that they look at the eye. So I'm glad with this particular article, no nga, it's from Oxford Economics. They looked into 5 dimensions or 5 criterias. They compared sa tanan countries in the world. They compared economy, human capital, quality of life, environment, and governance. I don't know how they measured those things on some mga questions that they asked in the survey, but I like nga specific sila to those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 criteria. So yeah, we ranked just after Nanchang, China.
Okay.
And but it says that Cebu City is, relatively a good place to live. These urban hubs attract residents due to their rapid productivity growth and higher than average income levels compared to their country as a whole. So that's nice. We have the highest mark in the environment category, and we have mid-range ranking when it comes to human capital or workforce. But we struggled in other areas like governance, quality of life, and also having to do with public services and living standards. But at least, in the other criteria, we're pretty much up there.
Yeah. So I think it's important that we talk about this, because I think we need to be competitive in the global stage, diba?
Yeah,
And like I
exactly.
said, for a long time, ang akong perception gyud, and I think we still are not sure exactly asa nagikan nga to ang nakitaan nga survey nga gi-share sa akong atong mga listeners and viewers sa social media, is I think it's still relatively more affordable to go on a vacation in Bali, Indonesia, in Thailand, in other parts of Asia. Asia ra now, labot ang other nations in Europe and in the West, right?
I've had friends who told me nga barato daw kaayo ang even food is super super cheap daw sa Vietnam.
Correct, yeah.
They told me nga ang kape diri nga tag 150, like sa mga cafes nga kape gid ba, like considering the packaging and the place the cafe in itself, if it's like around 100 maybe 200 pesos here, dito kay mga 80.
Okay.
75 to 80. So I was really surprised. Like, oh, okay, even given the fact that it's a nice cafe, they're like, yeah.
Okay, mag-oram mi kani adtog Thailand, Justin. Ang inyong gasto
I
dito
did go to Thailand.
Where did you go? You went to a foreign nation not too long ago, right? Okay. When was this?
Last year pa man to. Last year. I went to Malaysia last year.
Malaysia. So
Yeah.
inyong gasto sa pagkaon dito, how was it?
Actually, mas barato pod.
Okay.
And I was so surprised that Grab was way, way cheaper. Even if, like, I tried to calculate the distance. Let's say, I'm gonna calculate like from where I live in Talisay to Ayala Center Cebu. That's around almost here. If I take a Grab car, that's almost 500 pesos. From my house to Ayala, that's like 400 something.
Wow.
But for that same distance, I forgot how many km. I calculated it from like our hotel to this other tourist spot that we wanted to visit sa Malaysia. It would only reach up to 100 to 200 pesos. Like Grab is so cheap there compared to taxi because everyone takes a Grab. So I was surprised with that. Ilang mga fast food, McDonald's and are quite cheap raman. Around the same prices of our fast food. So I don't know if it's like exactly the same. I don't know. I don't really have a basis as to like if it's cheaper to live in other Southeast Asian countries. I have yet to visit the ones that my friends have suggested, like Vietnam, Taiwan.
Atong mga kaigsuunan nga part of the hospitality and tourism industry. What are your thoughts on this? Is Cebu more affordable, more accessible to tourists? Are we more competitive compared to our neighbors in Asia, or are we more expensive? What are your thoughts on that? Let us know. Kanang hisgotin mo, Justine, nga barato ang pagkaon dito. How about hotel food? Did you try to eat in a hotel, and what was your bill?
Same gapon. If I were to make it into Philippine peso, like for example, there's even in hotels like their standard meal of like burger and it would probably reach like.
Wait a minute. You ordered burger in a hotel
in
Malaysia?
I still eat like
so
I don't even eat the food.
What was your thinking? You were thinking, how are they
Burger,
going to
Danny.
attack a burger? What is the Malaysian version of burger? Or you just miss good old
lazy.
American burger?
Sometimes you're just lazy to try other foods. I'll just go with something that's familiar.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I would say most of the hotel food na I've tried there would range up to mga 400 pesos up to mga 300.
Hotel food na ni siya?
Yeah. Like
That's-
a meal,
Okay,
300 to
full
400
meal na siya.
pesos.
Full meal na siya.
Yeah, diri ba if you go to a hotel,
Libo-libo
diba
na, eh?
usually that would reach like 800.
Yeah, maabot na ng
800 plus.
1,000. Yeah.
Oh.
How about the buffets there? Did you go to a buffet there in Malaysia?
I did our
Would you remember how much?
hotel buffet ra.
Oh, how much?
Around 1,000 plus, maybe 1,200.
Okay.
Like, that's
That's on the
like-
cheap side, diba?
Yeah, like lunch buffet, dinner buffet.
If you don't mind me asking you, what was the hotel? What's the name of the
my
hotel? Was it like a world famous hotel? Was it like a 5-star hotel? What was it? Was it like a Malaysian hotel and all that stuff?
Let me see. I forgot what it was called.
You probably didn't enjoy a trip in Malaysia because you forgot the
I forgot
hotel.
because it's actually inside a mall.
Ah.
The hotel's connected to the mall, and I forgot
Marag
what it
pinaseda.
was.
Marag pinaseda.
Yeah, something like Seda.
Okay.
Something tree, Marriott something tree.
Marriott?
Marriott ba to? Let me try
Okay.
to remember ha. Oh my goodness, I forgot where we stayed.
So ikaw mo diya mga kaigsuonan kong tigpaminaw. Unsa may inyong tan-aw? Mas mahal diri sa Cebu
sorry, Jiggy.
kumpara sa lain nga nasod kumpara sa Asia, Europe, even in the United States, or
Yeah.
are we more expensive or are we cheaper? What are your thoughts? Text 0999 887 6070. You can join us on TikTok. Si Isdaa, Magbape, si Rosho, Shamaril. Unsa tanaw ninyo, guys? What do you think? Is the Philippines more expensive compared to our neighbors in Asia,
Yeah.
even our neighbors in Europe? Well, we're one big neighborhood in the planet, or even in the States, right?
Yeah.
Or are we more expensive? Are we cheaper? What are your thoughts? Tell us on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Good morning, you guys.
Join us. Jiggy, I remember the name na. I had to search it up.
Okay.
Doubletree by Hilton. That's where
Hilton.
we stayed.
Hilton Hotel.
Oo.
So makuha na siya, world-class hotel siya.
Yeah, and in fairness, yeah. So if hotel food is much cheaper in a world-class hotel compared to the ones here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like-
But I didn't stay long enough good to explore other hotels also. So I don't know if it's just for that time or what.
Okay.
But generally, like I'm just basing on my experience of riding Grab. Like at that time, I compared the kilometers of the distance ba from my house to Ayala. Ang charge dito is around mga 500 pesos kung mag-Grab ko. 400 to 500. Dito, 200 at most. 200 something, 250. So that helps.
You know what? I don't know if you read it, but Murag, I think if I'm not mistaken, one of those big name families in the Philippines is funding or kaning Murag private public partnership ba PPP. Familiar ka ng PPP in the same way that CCLX is a PPP. They're also building the Mactan Cebu International Airport is a PPP. Ang international airport sa Bohol kuno. So ang kanang Bohol man good. If you think about it, a lot of tourists who come to Cebu also go to Bohol and consider Bohol as quote unquote a secondary destination. So before, di makamakatog Bohol kundi magig Cebu as far as international flights go, right? Karon na may direct flight from Manila to Bohol. So we actually lost a lot of tourists here in Cebu because of that.
Because of
okay?
that.
Ya karon nga i-develop pag samot nila mo samot pag ini ka direkta ang mga flights to those who would rather just go to Bohol, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But Cebu is a beautiful place, so you're missing out, people.
You're missing out, guys.
People of the world. But anyway, point is nga ang Bohol kung daghan na sa kay turista mo mahal na sa maayo. Ang akong kwakuyuan ani Justin is kung daghan na kay turista sa Bohol, daghan na kay turista sa here and there, mumahal na kaayo ang mga lugar na dili na maka-afford mismo ang mga taga dito. Ang mga taga diri pareha gud diri sa Cebu gud sa Mactan.
Isn't that what they call us? There's a word for that.
Dili man ko maka-afford basta lang mo check in og Shangri-La og kaning uban pa di mga hotel diha, di ba? Porte man ang mga that's very expensive. So I don't know.
Yeah, there's a word for that. I remember.
I don't know if that's a sound marketing strategy. Ang inyong saligan na gyud are international tourists. That's why you price your hotel rates like that. I'm not talking about just one hotel. I'm talking about most of the major hotels in Mactan are very expensive, right? And locals can't afford. Is it if that's part of the strategy? Kay kana mo kung tourist good, kanang tourism season na lang na good, di man na pirmi good. So kung imuhang presyo para ra sa turista niya, kung why turista bi magunsa man ka kinampiling ka, di ba? Niya kung mag-sale ka niya, dili man na mahibaw ani mong sale kay kanang panagsara man na, once in a blue moon naman na. So mas maayo gyud siguro nga barato lang na inyo, make it more affordable for the whole entire time. Dili lang mo maghuwat og mo ubos inyong occupancy, right?
Yeah. I remember there was someone on social media posted about how mga small islands down Cebu, there's been some sort of gentrification, and I was like, what the heck is gentrification? Everyone's like, oh, they gentrified Siargao, they gentrified what's a place, Jiggy, in Cebu nga known for witchcraft? What is that? Sikihor, like that. And so I searched what it is. It's the process where a low-income neighborhood is transformed into a higher-value area through an influx of wealthier residents and investment, often leading to increased property values, rents, stuff like that. So basically, it's a transformation in a certain place wherein everything, like if I were to understand it, it basically means like everything in that place becomes a little bit more expensive because of the influx of like new people living there, foreigners, even tourists and travelers. So I see that good, and I know what you mean. Nga nagkamahal na good everywhere. You know, these resorts and private properties na good ba. So I think it's a good thing, but at the same time, it as you mentioned, there's a lot of in that nga where the locals can't enjoy it anymore.
Correct.
It becomes very exclusive na for people of a certain, I don't know, maybe the ones who can really afford to enjoy their time in those private properties. So it's not anymore. There's a lot of for public use unta nga sirado angkon as private property na. So I've heard people talk about that.
Nasuya jud ko atong pag-adto nako sa Huntington Beach oy nga in California nga there's a huge stretch of white sand beach. Nga wagi building. Unya you have to cross the street to go to a hotel, to a building ba. So the whole entire stretch is free. It's free, right? So but if you want to live in a more cosmopolitan, more comfortable hotel, be it negative star, new star, or 5-star or 10-star, whatever star, right? Ang hotel, pwede ka, it's your choice. Pero the beach is the beach, meaning to say everybody goes to the same beach.
Public space, yeah.
Ang imong nakalahi ninyo is the quality and the price of your sunblock, of your equipment, right? And the place where you're staying, di ba?
Yeah.
Kung ganahan ka magsinusyal diya. Pero ang inyong beach parihara.
Yeah.
Limpyo man, may
It's maintained also.
So may nindot man. So I think that's more.
That would have been nice if
kaning just. I think that's more just, di ba?
But most of the time here, especially sa Mactan, what we notice is the nice beaches, they're under, depending again sa resort pod, so it's again private property. You can only really experience that kind of beach if you're looking for this kind of sand, this kind of water, and those experiences. You can only have it within that kind of resort that you book. So that's
And anyway, I hope there's a way around this. I hope there's a way we can still undo whatever they've done in the past, right? We can still be able to enjoy our local beaches here in Cebu. At least Cebu lang, di ba?
Yeah.
Nga ato ang mga beaches maka-enjoy gyapon ta for free, right? So ang mga tao kung dili pasudlon sa beach para makagasto, di ba? Dili nimo kasabot ka nga.
Nga you don't have to spend to be able to.
Musud ka kay pasud ka, that's a public property, right? That's public good ang beach, right? And manghimo kag tindahan, mag-hotel o restaurant kung naana sila sa sud. You know what I mean? Balihon ang mentality unta to ba?
Not the other way around. Like you have to pay to get to the beach.
Pareha gud og mall gud nga ang mall.
It's free to enter the mall.
You can enter the mall for free, right?
You can just walk around, but then there are stores there, so then you end up spending your money when you're in the stores.
Trabaho na sa tindahan, each individual store to attract customers, di ba? Pero
not the other way around.
Padaghano ninyong tao ang imong lugar. So for example, 5-star hotel ka. Let's just say theoretically, 5-star hotel ka. Naka sa Mactan. Mactan in another universe, free to enter, di ba? If there are hundreds of thousands of people who go to the beach every year, syargoy masaagan ng 100,000, di ba? You know what I mean? And
that's a good way also to attract
another way of looking at it ba, di ba? Dili kay
a different scheme.
Dili nimo kay
the entrance itself, you have to pay to get in,
diba?
And then it's a little bit more exclusive for that reason also.
Exclusive man gyapon ka kung adto ka sa hotel imong ganahan, di ba? Exclusive man to, dili man makasuod ang public.
Pero personally, Jiggy, like when me and my family go on vacation, we prefer the resorts or the beaches that are very private. Like, there are some days that nice man sad nga public beach. Like when we went to Bohol, ang Alona Beach. Ano naman gina, that entire stretch is
Alona.
for everyone.
I love that name.
Diba?
That's a beach you want to be alone
in.
Alona.
Diba? Pero usahay, And then when we went to a different resort, like nato mi sa Mithi, lahi ra good nang when it's a resort nga, you know, there's barely anyone swimming sa
Mithi. Grabihan ni mo ka
It's your
social og
own-
pag-pronounce na mithi karon. Naunsa mo koy.
How do you say it?
Hoy, mithi na mithi. Mithi karon.
Dili na siya Mithi.
Mithi na mithi.
Mithi.
Naunsa mo ni
Which
Justine.
means,
I have no idea.
but it's a Tagalog word.
It's a
Are you sure it's not Mithi?
It's not mithi.
Dili na siya. We've been saying it wrong this whole time. We were like, Mithi.
Murag mythical.
Mithi.
Mithi
Di
na mithi.
Mithi. Yeah, that sounds better anyway.
Okay.
Mithi sounds better.
Mithi.
So there's sometimes nga lingaw po ang kanang murag private ba way samok nga kamura.
Sakto ka, Justin.
Pwede ka magsyagit-syagit, magambak-ambak dito. way,
Sakto ka. Pero
ano,
ang ako lang
way
problema
badlong
sa
nimo.
nang kanabitong especially if it's a quote-unquote world class hotel. Ang
Okay.
problema na nako, this is just my problem. Aside from the price, which is very prohibitive, right? Kana man good, they have like world class standards, right?
Okay.
So if you want to understand and actually inhabit a place, you have to understand and see how the locals actually do it. You know what I mean? So unsa maning relaxing, chilling,
Chilling.
Malaysia style, Thailand style, Bali style, Cebu style, right? Dili some standard that a hotel conglomerate has given to you. This is the no. It has to be the standard of how the locals do
So
it.
it has to be tailored to murag ano siya ba murag
Muna siya nga kung adto kag world class hotel, ang imong experience dili ang experience o sa lugar, experience sa standards na gihata
of the hotels
all
in the world.
over
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah, it's a generalized
Oh.
standard.
Oh.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
it makes sense.
I mean, like it's well, I guess if you have kids, right? But then again, you know, traveling is probably a better teacher than in the classroom, right? So, kung imong mga anak maipa-experience mo what it is to be in a certain country, you have to let them experience both the good and the bad also, di ba? You know what I mean? So ako, as much as possible, mangita jud ko usa ka lugar nga mura bang kaning right smack in the middle of what the country's essence is.
Okay.
It sounds nebulous and it sounds ambitious, right? Pero mangita ko lugar nga kanang mura og
You mean
dili-
where everything is very raw and
Oh.
everything is like you can see people lifestyle processes
Correct, yeah.
at its most unedited, unfiltered, raw kanang daily life.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Correct.
So like downtown.
Yeah, downtown.
Downtown most.
Yeah.
So that would be your advice if you were to travel and you really want to experience daily living and
Go
like
to a
what it means
fancy
to be
schmancy hotel, di ba?
or get the best of both worlds. Maybe you can do that, and it would also be nice to see the downtown life, kid. So this is how it is.
Correct,
right?
correct.
For the average, the normal, for example, Cebuano, nga ni gid ay lang day to day.
You know,
that would be cool.
You know, I'm not getting paid here by Airbnb, but ilang campaign in this case, na, Airbnb has a campaign that said, "Go to where the hotels can't." You know
Oh,
what I
that's
mean?
nice.
So ang pasabot niya to is kanang mga hotel mo, they have to be in prime property, di ba? They have to be in a high traffic cosmopolitan property, right? So nagis sila lugar, pero kanang mga lugar nga suok-suok, kanang mga lugar nga bukid-bukid, kanang lugar nga lisod-sudlon, dili sila makahimo diha kay number one, there's probably no property for sale.
Not accessible
Not
also for
accessible,
like
oh.
vehicles
So,
and
of course, depende pa na si mong appetite for risk also,
yeah,
di ba?
and, you know, a lot of the foreigners are into that anyway. Kani mga backpackers, grabe. It really amazes me, how their bags are like almost times 2 of their size.
Correct.
Yeah, they're literally walking around the mall like they carry everything that they need on their back. So it really depends on what you're looking for. For some people, Manggujigi also, the hotel in itself is part of the trip, is part of the experience. So they don't want that kind of hassle. So they go for a hotel instead of an Airbnb. But for other individuals who find that, the greater part of their adventure is not necessarily where you stay. So they're okay with Airbnb, and then, they're more free to explore the city and this and that. So it really depends on what is your idea, Magide, of your vacation, of your rest time. Does that count with where you stay and all that? So, muna siya, guys. Join us in our conversations for the rest of the week. Tomorrow, we'll be having someone from the Archdiocese of, I forgot which specific church, but it's also to talk about our issues on Pride Month. Since this is Pride Month, we will be talking. Jiggy we wanted to explore sa mga gidey ang nasa Bible about that. So hopefully, guys, you'll be able to join us.
We're gonna go biblical.
Yeah,
Right?
We're gonna see. We're gonna see. Unsa?
Is he gonna be here in the flesh, or are we gonna zoom it?
I've asked him to come in the flesh, so
Okay.
we'll hopefully
Sana all.
we have that.
Okay.
Hopefully we have that. So, mauna siya, guys. Join us for a conversation tomorrow. We're gonna be talking about some things that kana tukion gid nato ang topic bang, and
Atog
hopefully
yung
stir the
hashasan.
pot. Yeah, stir the pot.
Atog yung hasasan.
Stir the pot. And here at TMC, we're not afraid to talk about things that sometimes for some people might seem controversial, or it might seem like an uncomfortable topic. For us, it's important that we do talk about it. Better than to stay ignorant, right? And it's okay to have varying opinions, because only then can you actually create a spark that actually makes a good conversation. So join us in our conversations, guys, tomorrow and for the rest of the week, live on YouTube, Tops Media Center, topsmediacenter.com. We're also live on TikTok and Facebook.
Yes, and if you make a comment on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and our website, at Tops Media Center, Jiggy Juice, Justine Narvios on TikTok, top of the morning show. We will talk about your answers. Although we're not going to do it live, or maybe we will, right? We will probably comment or answer your questions if
Exactly.
you have any on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok. So,
No question goes to waste.
Yeah.
Sometimes Jiggy will just read it on another day, or
Yeah.
sometimes like we'll go back to your questions,
Yeah.
your requests also.
Yeah.
So don't be discouraged. Basta makaya nga mga wamang kutubagi sa Messenger, din ako mo message. No, guys, keep them coming.
Okay.
I'll read them soon, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow.
So tomorrow, if you will join us, we'll talk about Pride Month, and to talk about that, we will have somebody from the Catholic Church of Cebu to help illuminate on what the Bible says about being a part of the LGBTQIA community and all of that stuff. And we'll have, I'm sure, a very interesting conversation. What time will this be, Justin? Do you have any idea so our listeners can prepare?
That's at 11 a.m. to 12
Wow.
p.m. So it's for our usual top of the morning schedule. So Mona, that gives us enough time also to ask to have questions before then for our guests, no? And it would be nice to also really get people's opinions and debunk mga myths, mga mythies.
Myth.
Mga mythies.
Okay,
Mithi din.
before na to kon
Flop, oy.
atoning i-define ang mithi kay murag
I'm so embarrassed. Top of the morning, by the way, to all our listeners from Bohol. I was so happy nga.
Mithi.
Loud and clear gid kayo ato ang ano no?
Speaking of mithi.
Station.
Speaking of Bohol, good morning atong mga kaigsunan sa Bohol. Mithi.
Bujol, top of the morning.
Mithi primarily refers to an ambition, ardent desire, or wish. It can also be a short.
Aking mithi. Oh, my wish.
Oh.
Okay.
It can also be a short form for medium-term information and communications technology harmonization.
Like, no, but for our listeners in Bohol, I'm like 80% sure that Jiggy's right. It is mithi, but I've been calling it mithi this whole time.
Mithi. Why do we do that, Justin? So why do we assign numbers to our certainty? 80%. Where did that come from? 80%. Why not 99?
Why not 85? Why not 81? Where did you come up with that number?
It's so random. Why
Rough
is-
estimation.
Why is it 80? Why not 85?
Why not 81?
Yeah,
Diba?
exactly.
Rough estimation.
Thank you so much, Justine.
Thank you, Jiggy. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.
Okay.
Take care, Mo.
I can hear the waves
Oh,
now.
my
I wish
goodness.
I wish I was in the beach right now, you know,
Yeah, the beach at Mithi.
or anywhere in the world, or maybe in Cebu where it's
Kana.
most affordable.
Where we've got the best of us.
Or is it not the most affordable?